That's right, you innocent people of this town. The Creed is watching you. And if any of you step out of line, we will get you. Oh, hello there. Welcome to another Down the Rabbit Hole video. Pay no attention to this. We're doing a slightly Assassin's Creed themed video here. This is actually a video response to Willie over at ArcadeUSA. He just recently asked a question to the community, and I thought, well, it's kind of in leagues with my Friday foursome, at least as far as one of the topics I was covering. But I thought, well, why don't I just hone in on the Assassin's Creed side of the discussion, because A, I've got a bunch of new subscribers who don't realize that I've actually been a huge, huge fan of the first Assassin's Creed game, and it directly ties into the question that Willie asked of the community. So I'm going to talk very briefly about Assassin's Creed. I loved the first game, and I was very upset and disappointed, as per the Friday foursome, that the series kind of went in a different direction, not a direction that I liked. But I really liked the first game so much that, as per the question that Willie asked to the community, was there ever a game that inspired you to buy a console? This is the one. The Assassin's Creed, the first game, was the reason I got a PlayStation 3. I only had a Wii at the time, and as per my past video, yeah, that didn't turn out so well. So I got a PlayStation 3 just to get Assassin's Creed going. And so Willie was kind of going through a list of other consoles, ones that he bought for his, what games inspired him to make certain purchases. I don't have a lot of others. Like the PS3 and Assassin's Creed and me are kind of, that's the big one. When I was hearing him ask, and he was going through his list, I thought, man, there's hardly that many consoles that I can make that claim for. PS3 for Assassin's Creed, yes, we'll set that to the side now. But like when I think about some of my other consoles that I got, like the Vectrex, for example, there was no one game that really inspired me to get that console. It was more the glow and that vector look, and I knew there were a bunch of really cool games for it. So that's why I got a Vectrex. But, and that's sort of similar to a lot of the other consoles I have. I knew there would be stuff that I would be playing on them. Like the Genesis, for example. I did not have one back in the day, but I picked one up because it was not that much money, and I thought, well, there's a handful of games I remember playing on it. I'll enjoy it for that. So at first I was thinking this is going to be a very limited video response I'm doing for Willie, so I thought, well, okay, let's do the proper full-on Assassin's Creed angle to it, so at least I've got something to talk about, and watch all these people in this town. Sorry. But then I started thinking, you know what? The more I think about it, there are a handful of games that I got consoles for. And we just passed Star Wars Day, and a lot of these are Star Wars related, so I was kind of thinking I would actually put on a Star Wars outfit, but A, I've just done that, and B, one of them is the exact opposite of Willie's very question. So let me just go through them bit by bit. As I say, I got a Sega Genesis, really like that, and have enjoyed a lot of really good games on it. And then I found out that there was actually the 32X, and when I first found out that thing even existed, that's when I discovered there's a Star Wars arcade for the 32X. I was like, oh my god, yes! I'm getting that plug-in just to play this game. So there's one that kind of qualifies to Willie's question. I got the 32X largely to play Star Wars. I've done a video about it. It's okay. But there are other games on the 32X I love. I'm really, really fond of that bit of hardware. But when I was first discovering this thing even existed, I did a quick Google search. What sort of games are available for it? Star Wars? Heck yeah. So that one kind of qualifies. Similarly, the PS1, I don't really have any strong nostalgic connection to that console, but there was a game that I played on my roommate of the time's PC that is also ported to the PS1, and that is Star Wars Rebel Assault 2. I remember playing the first game on his computer. Maybe now that I'm thinking about it, it may have been Rebel Assault 1 that I actually played on the PC, and when I heard that Rebel Assault 2 came out for the PS1, I was like, oh, but that's that's a really good series. I really like this. Got it, love it. And it was one of the games that inspired me to get a PS1. So that actually does follow Willie's question. So PS1, I got to play Rebel Assault 2. And another game, now this is a bit of a cheat. I don't really like including this, but I guess it's sort of relevant, is Willie brought this up himself. Rogue Leader for the GameCube. Now, I didn't get a GameCube. I actually got a Wii, which I talked about, which is backwards compatible, so I can play Rogue Leader. And I got this because I thought I've always wanted to play this game. And it was one that I had almost bought a GameCube for when this first came out. What was that, 2001? 2000? Something like that. Where I was working, you could get these kind of reward points for doing various tasks and stuff like that, and with your points you could buy a barbecue or a lantern, and they had a GameCube in the list, and I was like, well, wait a minute, I could get that Rogue Leader game and I could play that. Maybe I'll get a GameCube just for that purpose. Never really took the plunge. I'd kind of moved away. I thought, well, okay, it's one game, but what else is there on the GameCube? And still kind of thinking that today, even though there have been some games that I like. But when I got a Wii, I kind of came full circle and said, right, getting Rogue Leader for the GameCube, because that's, since I've got a GameCube by accident with my Wii, I might as well play this game that almost inspired me to get a GameCube. Now, I had mentioned before that the reason I'm not doing this in a Star Wars outfit is because one game is the exact opposite of Willie's point. I wanted to get PlayStation VR as a kind of a, that sounds cool if the technology works. I'm interested in a VR headset. I got that one that my phone can connect to, and it's not bad. You know, it works for a lot of very rudimentary game experiences. And I thought, okay, well, you should probably get a real gaming VR headset, and PSVR was in my price range. I wasn't going to buy like a full-on, my PC is not that strong, not powerful enough to run an HTC Vive or any of that stuff. So I thought, well, I've got a PS4. Maybe I would get PlayStation VR, maybe. But I waited like a year. I actually sat there and made a list of like, okay, let's say I win one in a contest, or let's say Lactobacillus Prime is thinking of selling his, which totally happened, and I almost made a bid on it. What if I get a PSVR? What would be the games I get? And I started watching a lot of YouTubers like PSVR Frank. He was a very big influence at the time. And I thought, okay, there's a good game. I don't want that. That one, I don't want that. And I kind of filtered down, and I just sat there, the opposite of Willie's point. I actually sat there and I went, no, I would not get the console or the hardware in order to play any of these games. I really, really filtered down. And it took about 10 games for me to finally think, you know, okay, now maybe I'm in the mood to maybe get one. And as luck would have it, a local shopping mall actually had a demo unit. You could put the thing on, people would guide you and, you know, try it out, see what you think. Do you like it? Are you getting sick? And I thought, hey, this is actually fine. I even said to the guy, put me on the roller skate thing where you're going down through the traffic, and I want to see you. Try and make me ill. I was fine. So I was like, okay, now that I have tried before I bide, I'm going to get PSVR. And that, as soon as I walked away, the guy's like, oh, wait. Here's a $100 coupon off PSVR. And I was like, oh, man, I got to get it now. So, and as a side note, or as something that was one of the 10 I would like to get it for this, is the X-Wing mission that comes with the Battlefront 1, Battlefront 2015. I have talked a lot about Battlefront 2015. I love that game, and I downloaded the VR mission as soon as I got PSVR because I thought, I gotta try this out. I mean, come on, you're in an X-Wing. All those other games that I've just been showing you, those are X-Wing type experiences. Now I can do it in VR. You kidding me? And I loved it. And I still, to this day, throw that thing on every once in a while, have a good time, love it, love it, love it. But it was almost the opposite of what Willie was saying. It is not a console or a piece of hardware that I got because of a game. I had all these games sitting there and I was not buying the console for them. I was like, no, I got to make sure this is something that I'm going to like. I got to make sure I don't get motion sick. I'm going to wait. And I waited and waited and waited. And then when I finally got it, it was like the, you know, releasing all the flow, the tidal wave of all these games. I was suddenly like, yeah, I want to get the VR mission. Yeah, I want to get this. I want to get Battlezone. I want to get these. I want to get rigs. So PSVR is kind of the opposite of Willie's question. But there have been some consoles, like the PlayStation 3, that I got for Assassin's Creed. Now, one last game or console. This is a very recent purchase. I got this at Christmas time. Done a video. It was something, it's one of those mini, like, flashback at games things that I just thought, yeah, okay, they're a dime a dozen. I don't really care. I got a few of those already. But this one, somebody made a comment on my Fix It Felix video, and he said, you know, this At Games Legends flashback actually has the ability, with Wreck-It Ralph, it has that arcade one that you talked about in your video, the one that's like the tall screen that was, I think, used in some of the machines in Disneyland around the time of the release of the movie. They actually put this ROM set into these cabinets, and I don't know how they got the rights to it. I'm not going to ask questions. The At Games people put it onto this Legends flashback, and it's phenomenal. It is the best version of Fix It Felix, in my opinion. And when I heard that, I immediately said, yes, I'm getting this console in order to play that game. So there you go, Willie. That's an absolute example of what you were talking about. A game that made me buy a console. At Games Flashback. And PS3. And PS1 and 32X. There have been a few. Not that many, but a few. Right, well, I'm going to leave it there. So until next time, we'll see you down the rabbit hole. And if you'll pardon me, I got to go kill someone.